I am pretty charged. Pretty charged. Pretty charged. So,
If you're going down, I'll just.
Okay, 20 seconds, 15 seconds.
Alright, let's check if we start stream on.
Perfect.
Can you check for
There it is.
audio?
If you're going down, I'll just.
Okay, 20
You can
seconds.
clearly hear the audio.
Okay, 8.
I just muted myself.
We're going live.
Alright. We have people live here already. Who was that with the countdown timer? Tick, tick, tick. Are we live? We live. Hello YouTube. I know we are live for sure. Testing out on Facebook and all different fan pages that we're going live right now. Hello everyone. Type in your name so I know you're here. Say something. Let me know you are here. Wherever you're from. I know yesterday we were very, very interestingly showing up from all over the world. So, are we live? Oh, we are live everywhere. Okay, cool. Alright, so my team only just told me we are live everywhere. Hello everyone on, I think, Ajit Nawalkha, Evercoach, Mind Valley Insights, and Awesomeness Fest, A-Fest, and YouTube. So, hello and welcome everyone. This is good morning for us. Me and my team woke up early to show up for this. Right now I'm in Kuala Lumpur, and you might be showing up from many different places. Hit us up. Let us know where you're from. Coco from Paris in France. That must be late in the night for you, Coco. Thank you for showing up. North Carolina. And thank you. Live and handsome. Thank you very much. Ernie Bate. Ernie Bate Rising. Great. What a name. So hello everyone. Keep letting me know where you're from. I'm just going to go log in and see on Facebook as well who's showing up from where. YouTube going really, really cool. All you cool people up there. Let's see what's happening on Facebook. Okay. Alright. Okay. Hit me up where you're logging in from, where you're going live from right now, so I know that you are live. Okay, my computer is giving up a little bit on me right now. Alright. Cool. Okay, so today what we're doing, it's 2 a.m. Thank you for the commitment, Coco. New Jersey, we've got people from Hampton, Virginia. From Los Angeles, hey, Alteja. Monica from Mexico. Lori from Ohio. Gabriela from Mexico. Oh, Gabby. Hey, Gabby, how are you? Tony from Australia, Alan from California. So all you wonderful people, thank you so much for showing up, showing your commitment, especially Coco, who is showing up at 2 a.m. to join us here. Suriname from South America, somewhere in South America. People are on from, Preacher Girl is on from Boston. That's your name, Preacher Girl. But anyway, so fantastic. Glad all of you are here. Fantastic. Super stoked, super excited. I'm streaming live, like I said, from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. This is where we are headquartered, where our team sits. Right now, I'm here traveling to Paris, France, by the way. Whoever was there in a few days, so hit me up later. Coco, actually. Yeah, let's catch up there if you are free. I think I'm landing on the 6th of July. Cool. Anyway, so today, what we're continuing the live cast, continuing our commitment to delivering 6 days of 6 pillars of how to really build your business in a lot more effective, powerful way. Build it to 7 figures, higher 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures if you would. Taking all our experiences through our different units, different companies, Evercoach, Mind Valley, A-Fest, all these different companies, bringing all these experiences together and sharing it with you today and in the coming 4 days after this, and yesterday as well. If you haven't had a chance to look at yesterday's recording, it is live right now on YouTube as well, and you would have got a link to go in and actually check it out. So go ahead and check it out if you haven't seen it after this training, if you are still excited to see my face and you want to continue to watch those trainings, go ahead and check it out there. My team will post a link later to yesterday's training. But today, what we're talking about is the first pillar. Today we are talking about what happens when you actually get into the thing. And the first thing that we are going to talk about, the first pillar that we are going to talk about, is strategy, on how to really come up with a strategy that is effective enough, that is powerful enough for you to really go in and zoom in on one idea that will allow you to grow dramatically. But before I go in there, my name is Ajit. If you didn't know, I am co-founder of Mind Valley. I started at this company about 7 years ago as an intern, where I was a business manager. I was helping a particular business grow, a particular website grow. At that time, we were fragmented websites. There was no Mind Valley Academy known. And ever since I've started my journey with Mind Valley, I've gone from intern to CTO to CMO to CEO to now co-founder. And I've had a fantastic run here at the company. And what we are now trying to do is bring all this education, all these trainings to the world. And we want to share it with everyone at as much capacity we possibly can. During the course of the training, what we will do is we will be asking questions all the time. So go ahead and post your questions so we can actually answer them. And that's the idea. Some people have posted questions from yesterday. We're going to take some of the questions from yesterday, but at the same point in time, we are looking forward to getting a lot more questions today related to how to come up with strategies. What is definitely a case that I would love for you to do, that's the favor that I want from you, is if you feel there's a friend of yours, a colleague of yours, somebody you know that needs to see this training, who needs to know all of the stuff that we're talking about today, I would highly recommend that you share the link of this video with them. You share the link of this page with them. You share the link of what's happening today with them. You share the summary of whatever you understand with them. It's extremely critical and important that we share it out with the world, because that allows us also to grow our impact and be able to reach a lot more people and end the overwhelm and anxiety of running an expert's business. So if any of your friends is an expert, is an author, is a coach, is a trainer, is a consultant, go ahead and let them know that this is happening right now. Go ahead and post this link on your walls, on your email, whatever is your mode of communication with your friends and colleagues who may be interested in this kind of training. Go ahead and let them know so we can have a lot more people joining in, and we can actually spread this message and end the anxiety of running an expert's business and really create something that is more powerful for them and for you. Okay, so what we are going to talk about today, like we briefly talked about yesterday, is we're going to talk about strategy. Most of the time what happens is when we start a business, we start to study about it, right? We try to find out more and more information about it. We try to go in and figure out what makes the business work, because I mean, that's our baby. We really want to know more. And when that happens, what it leads to is we go in and we try to study every person that is out there. I mean, a lot of you might be here right now trying to figure it out. And even if your businesses are already there and pretty successful, you're probably still here trying to figure it out, trying to go, okay, what is it next I should do to create the next breakthrough for my business? What is this next that I should approach? What is the next thing I should fight? And that's very fair as an entrepreneur. It's very fair as a person, as a human being, you asking that question because you're curious, and what you want to do is really dramatically impact your story and make sure that your people are absolutely like always getting the message. You have more clients, you have more impact, you have more revenue, you have more freedom. Whatever your primary desire is taken care of while you build your business. But here is what happens. When you are thinking of the next big idea, you are almost always running behind somebody else's idea. Secondly, what also happens is you stay in a constant state of anxiety and overwhelm. Because the world is changing, and the world's changing not in one dimension, in many ways. Social media is changing, advertising is changing, email marketing is changing, everything is changing, but that can cause a dramatic amount of overwhelm and anxiety in a person whose core competence is content, right? Content or some kind of education, some kind of training. If that's your core play, it's really extremely hard for you to be able to really be able to stay focused. And that's why strategy plays such a key role. Is strategy, I believe businesses, and this is mostly from the outside, if you really think about it from client perspective, which is the most important thing in business, is if you really think about it, when we think about our clients, there's only two ways of really growing a business. One is if we can increase our influence, and second, if we can increase our solutions. What do I mean by influence? Influence is basically if we can somehow increase the reach that we have as an individual to more and more of our potential clients or our existing clients, right? When we actually are able to increase our reach, we can dramatically increase our business. Because let's think about it like this. Let's say if you you have a website that helps people with business education. Let's just take business education as a simple enough example, right? You have a website that helps people run businesses or help people grow businesses. Maybe it's for startups. What would happen is you would take that website and now you have a certain level of conversion that is already happening. Let's say if 100 people come to your website, one person buys. If you can take your number of people reaching on the website from 100 to 10,000 or 1,000, right? Out of 100, if one was buying, out of 1,000, 10 would buy, right? Out of 10,000, 100 would buy. So nothing has to really change on your website if you really dramatically increase the amount of influence that you have, and you would by default have greater conversion, have greater revenue, and have greater people coming in to your ecosystem. So what you have to really focus on in that scenario is how can I really increase my influence? And that's what you're really focused on, is increasing influence. Now, that's one way of solving it. Another way of looking at it is when you try and solve the same, a higher elevation of problem with the same people. So for example, what if you went in and took those 10 people that are your customers, and after they bought a $1,000 product from you, you go, all right, you've got this, but I have a higher level of training that will further accelerate you in your business, because we're taking business as an example, further accelerate your business if you join me live on a 2-day intensive, or if you join me in my mastermind, right? So when you do that, you've taken your experience that your client has had with you and you have deepened it. You've actually gone ahead and figured a way to say, okay, we've kind of figured out how to really have the first interaction. How can we have further interactions, right? And when you deepen your experience with your client, what happens is they have, your revenue goes up because now you have multiple offerings that will have your clients actually come back to you and take more and more of what you have to offer. At the same point of time, what's happening is that as a person, your impact is increasing and your revenue starts to go up, because now you're offering them a much higher end every single day. So what you have to think about is you could increase your revenue and grow your business by just having more people into your ecosystem, or you could have increased revenue in your business by having more solutions for the existing clients that you have. Now, here is the catch that you need to understand, okay? If you try to do both of them, most likely your growth, if it's supposed to be 100% year on year, will limit to 30% year on year. I'll give you an example. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's part of my mastermind group called Momentum, and we were talking about it. This was like one of the first times that we were actually sitting down talking about our business. It was like a 30-minute conversation where I had asked her, okay, why don't you list down everything that you do in your business? Let's see why is it that you are so overwhelmed and you have so much anxiety while running your business? And I got her to write down everything. She wrote down every activity she does, everything that she does on a daily basis. And when I looked at it, I realized that it's not only she's got really busy running her business, which by the way is a different conversation set for a different day, where we will talk about how to really manage your teams and hire people in the right way so you don't get into the overwhelm of running businesses. But beyond that, what she was doing was she was working on her PR, she was working on her advertising, she was working on her social media, she was working on that and that and that, and then she was working on creating her new intensive and new certification program and new this and that and this and that. And I was like, there are just so many items you're working on right now that you of course have anxiety, you of course have overwhelm, because there is no way that you would not have that, right? So what you got to think about, so what we did after that is I literally told her, okay, we'll look at your team structure and systems of running the business a little bit separately. But let's first look at everything that you are doing to grow your revenue, grow the revenue of your business. So I said, okay, let's write down all the ways you're working today on building your traffic. So this, if while you're watching right now, go ahead, take out a piece of paper. If you don't have it, use your computer, and one side, just write down every way that you build traffic, every way. So whatever you're doing to get more people to come on your website or engage with you. It could be social media, it could be paid advertising, it could be non-paid advertising, it could be banners, it could be whatever. It doesn't matter. Just write it all down, okay? Everything that you're working on right now to build traffic on your website will take like 10 seconds while you go ahead and do that, okay? Write down like a shorthand, like write quickly so we can go to the next part. I'm going to count you down. All right. So I've given you like 10 seconds. Now go on the other side of the paper, write down everything that you do to serve your existing clients again and again and again, repeatedly. Okay, so it could be how you have 5 different products, if there are 5 different products, or if you have one-on-one coaching, if you have intensives, if you have group coaching, if you have whatever that may look like, events, go ahead and write that down. On the other side of the paper, write all of that down. I'm going to give you 10 seconds again. All right, every single solution that you can imagine that you are currently giving to your clients, go ahead and write that down. Also write down what you may think that they might read. So we'll have a greater clarity on things. Cool. So, sorry about that. So if you have written down all the ways you're investing in building traffic and you've invested all the things that you're doing to get your clients to buy more, now if you look at it, it might be anywhere from 8 to 12 items, right? Or maybe even more than that. If it's more than that, I can understand that you probably right now are going buck wild crazy, okay? So what is it that what I would suggest is, instead of focusing on both the areas, this is what we gotta do. I said, I forbid you for the next 3 months to go ahead and work on anything that builds influence for her. I'll tell you the whole logic on how to come up with what side should be your side, right? But I forbid you to do anything on traffic for the next 3 months till the time you have figured all these different solutions out for your existing audience. Now, in her scenario, she already had a really good following. People were already following her message. People were already looking into what she was talking about. They already had an idea of how they could be served better. So she already had some clientele, right? So I said, okay, so the only thing I want you to focus on in the next 3 months is how can you serve your existing community better, right? We had a conversation about like just a month later, not even 3 months later. We had a month later, we had 3 months later, and she had just ran a campaign to her existing audience, and she could see her results dramatically improve. She, I think, had a bump of 30%, and then her revenue right now for the year looks likely to grow by almost 100% year on year, which is pretty good because this is not a small business that we're talking about. We're talking about a big business right now. Okay, so that's the thing that completely transformed her businesses by saying, don't focus on any of the influence areas, serve your clients first, right? Because that was the right thing to do in her scenario, in her setup, is to be able to serve her clients first. Now, that's one of the scenarios. Another way where, and I'm just trying to give you also what happens to us as entrepreneurs when we pick things like these. Like, what is it that happens to entrepreneurs that fundamentally changes the whole story post that? So as entrepreneurs, what happens is that the moment you do a play like that, it's a great sign of relief. You go, thank God, I don't have to worry on all these 27 items that I'm expected to work in, right? So you can actually literally delete these items, which gives a tremendous sense of comfort, tremendous sense of freedom to you as an entrepreneur. So that is also what happened. So another thing that happened was I was at an event. This is another friend of mine who hosts events, like 100, 200 people events, and they position products there, right? So they've already got the audience. People are already sitting in. They're already watching the person. By the way, you don't need 100 people events. By the way, you could do 20 people and do really, really well financially still. But 100 people in the room doing really, really, really well, and they were positioning something to the tune of, if I'm not wrong, 7 to 11 products in the course of 4 days for people who were in the seminar to be able to take them up as an offer. 7 to 11 offers. Like they They would get an offer from the stage. They will go to the back of the room. They would have a conversation with the coaches, and they would decide which package to take. Same conversation. Sat down with them. I was like, okay, you know what? It'll take a while. In this scenario, they didn't have that much traffic. They just had a big brand, so a big audience that already follows them. And we looked at it and I said, you know what? Just on the event itself, these are making 7 offers. How about we made 3? Right? Just kill everything else. Just give 3 offers. That's all you want to give. At that event, they not only found new bliss within themselves and the team, because now they were not feeling that, oh, the business is not going to grow because we have less offers, and they're not feeling the anxiety of coming up with products on the go, because that's what is required when you are just winging it, almost. So what happened is, not only did they grow their business by, I think at that event they grew our revenue by almost 100%, if not exactly 100%, and that also reduced the amount of anxiety and overwhelm they had in their business, right? So that's the thing that you gotta understand when you are really working on your strategy. Is it's not only good for your revenue, it's also good for you as an entrepreneur. Okay, focus on one item for the next 3 months, and that would be my challenge to everybody that's watching right now. Is that don't go in with the idea of saying, okay, I'll listen to the session and I will go and do exactly what I was doing before. What I challenge you, what I request you to do, is once you have watched the session and once you've got this list down, once I've shown you how to pick, what to pick, go ahead and actually do that for next 2-3 months. Just 2-3 months as a trial run, and you will see that you will not only have a lot more time for yourself, but you will actually increase your revenue. Okay? So here is how you know why and when. Sorry, here's how you know when you need to actually slow down and figure this out, and how to really figure this out. Okay? So first of all, you know when you have to focus on one item is when your revenue is increasing and you're getting overwhelmed at the same point of time with your own business. Okay, it may not work for individuals that are just literally starting out, because when you're just starting out, there is no audience that you have and there are no products that you have. So you have to work on one item at a time. So you'll build a product first. So I'll start from this like really starting, have no idea what they're doing kind of stage. Is go ahead and start by just simply going ahead and creating the first 3 products that your clients would love to engage with you on. And these products, I would highly recommend, if you're an expert, should start as something that is physical, which is basically they can start something with one digital product and the next one is something like a group coaching format or on a one-to-one coaching format. The reason why I recommend that is because it creates greater interaction and you will understand your audience better. Okay, so that's why I would say I suggest do more live stuff when you're just starting out. Okay, because it allows you to really get into the skin of your game. It gets you to get real-time feedback and really change things, and so just sit back and deliver on stuff. Okay, so if you're just starting out, the first thing that you will work on is 2 to 3 products that take your clients from just getting to know you to a deeper experience. That'll be your first 2-month project, and the next 2 months what you're going to focus on is building some kind of either paid advertising or social media advertising to it. And then your number 1 focus will become influence and not really building more products, because what your problem is that people don't know about you. Okay, and you haven't tested enough for you to be able to get any good at understanding if you're doing well, if you're not doing well, if your systems work or not work, all that kind of questions that you haven't really answered. You'll need to find those answers, and you'll find those answers while you work with your clients one-on-one, when you actually go ahead and create all this ecosystem. Now, how does it change when you actually have a set business already set up? When you have a business already set up, what you would do instead is you would go in and switch over to really talk about, to look at what is the size of the list that you have and what's the size of existing traffic that you have. So based on what I know, and go ahead and ask a question at this point if you have an existing business and you want to know how to really solve your particular situation, because what I'm going to take is case studies of friends, so you would know how to really operate in this scenario, but it might change a little bit based on where we are at, okay, as a business. So there was another friend of mine. This is a very well-known business where, again, they were growing real well, but at the same point of time, they were not, they were kind of getting really overwhelmed and kind of not really growing as much as they could have possibly grown, because this is a really big very well-known brand in digital education space, especially in business education space. And when I met them, I found that they had created almost 60 odd something products. But the way they were doing their business, like 100% of it was relying on something that we call affiliates, which is basically partners that promote your product when you are launching something. For example, when you're really going live with a product or a service, when you're offering that, they just go and promote for you, which is great and fantastic and beautiful. But what happens is that is that they have a sporadic revenue. So what happens is affiliates will promote because they're doing a launch. They will have a jump in revenue, and then the revenue will die because now there's nobody promoting it, and then there will be another one, and then another one, and then another one. So it's kind of like a cycle that they had, and because of the cycle, what would happen is they would always be like, oh yeah, we are hoping to get that much revenue, but we are not really sure, because you never know if people will actually promote at that time, and if they will promote at that time, will it really convert at that time? There was no consistency to what they were doing. And when that happens, of course, the business becomes extremely anxious, and the business becomes extremely overwhelming because you don't really know what's happening, right? First of all, hey Maria, thank you. Welcome at 2:30 a.m. and still awake. I just saw that message. Welcome on board. So in that scenario, what happened was that we were talking to this friend of mine, and he's also a part of my mastermind group, and multi-million dollar business, but growth, yes, but maybe could have grown a lot more. And we looked at it and we said, okay, so in this scenario, while we are looking at your business, you seem to have a solution, an influence problem, because you've got 60 odd solutions, which by the way, are a lot. And what we did is we got them to reduce it to only 5. From 60, they went to 5 solutions. By the way, double their business in the next 12 months, actually 9 months or so, while we were working together on this. And we said, okay, reduce all this craziness from that amount, 60 odd, to just 5, and then let's work on the influence area, because we clearly knew that they have the ecosystem to be able to support a lot more people into the ecosystem. What they don't have is enough people coming to the ecosystem consistently enough. So that's how we figured that what we want to do in this scenario is actually be able to go in and help them build an influence channel, right? Now, as a part of the group that we run, it was easy and powerful enough for us to be able to take their business and go, all right, you can totally build influence really, really fast. And we did help them build influence really, really fast in the scope of 9 months or so, where they had autopilot revenue being generated because of the amount of traffic that they were getting. They ended the anxiety, not completely, but to a certain degree, of getting on the launch treadmill, like going one after another, after another, after another. And they changed it dramatically to looking at consistent revenue that comes to their ecosystem without the effort of going crazy on it. Cool. And that happened repeatedly many times, where we found that a lot of businesses, and this is a challenge with most of the experts business when they start their business by the idea of partnerships, is that once they hit a scale, they start to plateau, because what's happening is they are always reliant on partners, and so they will start to plateau really, really fast, and then they have to work on an autopilot channel of influence because their solutions are kind of already sorted. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. If you are at a scale, usually that would be the challenge. If you're getting a lot of people to come to your website, and it's because your SEO is good, or you're viral, you've gone viral on social media and people love you and all that kind of stuff, then think about the solutions, because you've already got, what is a lot of traffic? Anything that is over, if you're getting over 5,000 leads a month, you have a lot of traffic already coming to your website. Even 2,000 leads a month is probably a decent amount of traffic that you're getting every single month. You just have to wonder if that's matching the scale that you want to get to. So it depends a little bit on that, on how your dreams are. But usually anything over 4,000 leads a month, you're pretty good, doing really well in context of you now looking at solutions more than building influence. Okay, so that's what it is. And in the coming trainings, what we are going to do is I'm going to show you how to build influence to your audience, and also how to build solutions, and how to really know exactly what price points you want to come in at, what are different price points to look at. All of that will be covered in the coming days. I want to give a brief intro of what we are going to talk about tomorrow. So tomorrow, what we are going over is we'll talk about how to build your solution stack. So we will actually cover when some of my clients have too many solutions and how I get them to cut down, and how to really think about solutions, how to really think about your product grid, how to think about autopilot revenue or automated revenue, so your business has a increasing baseline all the time, and all that kind of ninja stuff we're going to talk about tomorrow. Today, what I want you to do at this stage is go ahead and ask me as many questions that you might have related to the topic of overall strategy or anything else that you may have as a question. While you guys are writing all the questions, I want to invite you to something. So what we're doing in the coming days is we just opened our event to a lot more people. We have about 60-70 coaches coming to something that we call the Evercoach Summit. And right now it's available. It usually is not available. We always try to expand the amount of people that we can get into the room. We just had a negotiation with the hotel where we can invite a lot more people to come in. And so we are opening doors again. We are opening the doors right now. This event is happening between the 11th and 14th of August in San Diego, in La Jolla, at the Marriott, if I remember the name of the hotel right. And we are going to be hosting it for about 150 coaches and experts that will be coming in. And what we'll be taking them through over the course of 3.5 days is we'll really walk you through as to how to really build your business as a coach or an expert. Okay, it is called Evercoach Summit because that's just what we decided to call it. What we are going to cover is on day one, you're going to have speakers like Lisa Nichols, Vishen Lakhiani, Marissa Peer, who are going to come in and really help you walk through your own personal barriers. So, a lot of business is actually we being stuck in our own realities and not being able to fight it out and be able to really move past our own fears, our own beliefs, our own logics. And what we're going to do on day one is kind of help you get past that. On day two, what we'll be actually educating you on is different methodologies of being able to coach someone, to be able to educate someone, and we'll walk you through that. So there will be people like Rich Litvin, Wayne Botnet, who have their own systems of really being able to coach someone powerfully, and they will walk you through that process for the entire day of the second day. And I would also be joining them in educating you how to start to think about your business a little bit differently. Okay, we're going to talk about on day 3 on how to really build your business and build the marketing that needs to be built around that ecosystem. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff, and we're going to actually walk you through in the first steps of building a business. On the last day, we will go a lot more deeper into marketing, where we will be covering, and we have invited people like Lindsay Wilson, Ted McGrath, who will come in and really educate us on how to really position ourselves, find our stories, be able to sell from stage and sell offline, and be able to really enroll clients a lot more powerfully. So we will be doing all of that. My team's going to post the link on Facebook and on YouTube at this point. It's available for a discount right now. And we are also giving you a bonus on an unreleased course called Beyond, which I've never released before. This is a course I just recorded for my highest end clients. So it's an unreleased, unpositioned course ever. This is the only way to get this course, and this is a full my take on whatever I've learned in marketing. I'm giving you all in that program, and also I'm joined by my friend, my co-founder, Vishen Lakhiani. So right now, go ahead, and if you get Evercoach Summit right now, you have the opportunity of actually going ahead and getting Beyond, plus getting an absolutely fantastic 3.5 day event, which will completely transform the way you run your business. Okay, we're going to do a lot more in-depth training than this. There will be live coaching that will be happening, and we're working on your businesses as we go through the days. Okay, now I will be starting to take your questions. So I'm just switching over here. I'm just acknowledging people. Lawrence, hey Lawrence, welcome back, man. Lawrence was here live with us yesterday as well. Okay, I am a little confused with this sheet, so I'm going to try and I have questions here on my sheet. So I'm going to try and answer as I understand what the questions really are. So Carol Rounds says, are there any universities that offer online live coaching coursework that can be used for certification? Are there any online universities? Not really universities, but you can go to ICF, or which is called International Coaching Federation, and they would have programs that you can join or are accredited by them. They are not a government organization. There is no regulated body per se, but that's one foundation that's already working on certifying people and working with different partners to be able to certify and add value in that scenario. Ismail asks, I hope that answers your question, Carol. Smile asks, do we need a seal? Do we need to seal the first service product and expedite it prior to promoting the second related solution in order not to scare the client away with too much spending? If that doesn't sound cheeky. I think I answered that question yesterday, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete. If you want to know the answer, just go ahead and see that on the previous recording. It's towards the end of the training. Zen asks, is there a formula as to how to raise a client's interest when you want to pitch but not sounding like it? Well, go ahead and go on YouTube, look for a video called How to Sell Anything with my name on it, and you will find the exact method of being able to position something and increase a client's interest without not sounding like it. So here is just a quick lowdown on it. This is Zen's question, is that when a client is asking you, when you're working with a client, okay, so what you do is you really go in and you have a conversation. Instead of trying to think of what you're going to sell today, you think about, I'm going to help today. Okay, when you have that conversation, that dialogue in your head, what will happen is you will start to ask a lot more questions that will help them identify their problems. It's called the spin selling method. I'll go ahead and it's a book that you can really buy. It's called Spin Selling, S-P-I-N selling. Here is what you do in spin selling. You help your clients first to identify that they are in a situation. So you would ask questions that will let them know, hey, how is everything going, kind of thing, and in business. And usually they would, if they already know that you are kind of a coach and a consultant and you're really there to help, they might straight away go right into it where they identify what's the situation they're living in. For example, they might go, all right, yeah, I have a thing, but you know what, the sales is not growing, right? My sales team is not motivated. Let's just say it that way, right? So that would be the problem, that they see it on service, a situation that they are seeing it on the surface. What you would do is you would dig into why that is happening. So, for example, you might go, oh, okay, so you feel your sales team is not motivated. Why do you think that's happening, right? And then they might go into a cycle of telling more and more things about the sales team. They might even go, and if you keep digging, and if you keep asking these questions more powerfully, more deeply, and you're not afraid to ask these questions and go there, you would find that they will give away the thing that you're exactly doing. So, for example, let's say you're a sales training coach for the sales teams. They go, my sales team is not motivated enough. One of the reasons they may self-identify as the problem is because they don't have proper sales training, right? Or our sales training is just in-house and it's not really run by somebody who's done this for several years for external sales teams, right? And if that happens, you go, okay, all right. So what happens if your sales team continues to be demotivated and not trained, right? Now at this stage, this is the I of the spin, by the way. So if the situation, problem, I is implication, right? So at this point, they would go, oh, okay, well, if they are still not motivated and they're not trained by somebody else, well, I'm guessing our sales are going to dip and maybe some people will leave the company, etc., etc. So now what you've done, if you really think about it, by just simply asking questions, so you're not really telling them anything. They are identifying everything for you. By just having them walk through the whole process, what's happening is they're going, yeah, I'm in a situation. Oh, I know why exactly I'm in this situation. Oh, damn. If I don't get out of the situation, I'm going to stay like this, and this is going to hurt my business in this way. And then you go, okay, so what can we do to solve it? And then you actually go ahead and help them with one way of solving that problem, which is called need payoff, is where you pay it off by saying, okay, so I'm going to give you a free digital course, and this is just coming from top of my head, do it whatever is right for you, is you say, okay, I'm going to give you a free digital course. Go ahead and actually give it to your team, and what I would love to offer you, and at this point you can offer you, is that with this digital course, I would love to host one-day events that will help your team to do and grow your business dramatically. Okay, so or your sales team to get motivated. So at this point, you've gone and made the sale, but without sounding salesy at all, because what you're simply addressing is the problem that they shared, and hence what you're simply doing is just solving that problem for them, and hence it's a much easier solution if you think about it, right? So your pitch is not really a pitch, right? Now, I hope that answers your question. If not, go ahead and pick up Spin Selling, SPIN, situation, problem, implication, need, payoff, selling. Go ahead and also Google the video, which is called How to Sell Anything by Ajit Nawalkha, and you will find the full training on this. This is about a 15-minute video or something that we have. Go ahead and my team will post a link to that video on YouTube and maybe on the Facebook pages as well. All right. Lawrence asks a question. I have a website currently. How do I improve traffic, lead conversion, convert them to customers, and build more sales? Well, it's a really broad question, Lawrence. And to be able to answer that question, I'll have to dive deep into everything, including your website. So what I would suggest is definitely one of the days we will be doing how to build more traffic. I'm just thinking of what day it might be. It might be on day 5. Might be, I'm not confirming this, but it looks like it might be day 5 when we'll talk about how to really build traffic. But here is what I can give you as a general outline to how to really build traffic, how to build a website that converts. Is that think about it. If you're a consultant, especially if you're a high-end offer, think about having as many conversations with your potential clients instead of just thinking about how they will convert on website. So think of now, if you really imagine an interaction with your clients or your potential clients is not limited by or limited to when they just see your offer. That used to be when internet was new, when AdWords was new, when everybody wanted to click on every ad and open every email and really reply to every email and really respond to every email and really excited about everything. Now it's a new world. We are live on 4 different fan pages and YouTube, plus they're getting an email about this live stream. So think about the amount of point of interactions that you have with your clients. Think about the amount of interaction that is needed for you to have with your clients, for them to be able to to grab their attention and for them to be able to invest time with you. All 1,000 of you that have been watching us for the past yesterday and today have invested an hour or more now, almost 2 hours with us. The amount of service that we have done for you to be able to do any kind of transaction with us, if you think about it, is at the greatest level. Nobody does that. But at the same time, that is why our business goes from just starting out to crossing over 2 million in just a span of like 18 months or something, right? And that's just really fast with absolutely no support, just working and serving the client. So how do you build a really high converting website? I can give you all the conversion tips. But what I really think you need is conversation with your clients. You need to talk to your people. And when I'm saying talk to your people, it doesn't mean you have to pick up the phone and talk to your people, but talk to your people. Really listen to what they're saying and serve them in as many powerful ways that you possibly can serve them. Okay? And if you are a coach, a consultant, I would say do that on the phone and actually physically meeting them, because that's the best way to do it. If you're a speaker, do it by speaking more often. You don't have to wait for a stage. You can create your own stage using these wonderful devices, your phones, things that you're using. You can literally start to create your empire on your phone. You don't have to wait for anything. If you are an author, do it by writing. You could run a blog. You could run Facebook instant articles and all that kind of shenanigans to make sure that your audience sees your writing. They are aware of what wonderful stuff you're doing. So don't hold back. Don't wait. Go ahead and actually influence people and start to work with them directly. That's how you'll build a high converting conversation between you and your potential clients. Okay? Coco asks, what do you think about the strategy of creating impact to catch the attention of people to get new clients? I don't really understand the question. What do you think about the strategy of creating impact to catch the attention of to get new clients? What is creating impact? Sorry, apologies. I don't really understand your question, Coco. If you could frame it a little bit better, my team will be on a lookout for you to frame this question better and replace this question there. Because strategy of creating impact, yeah, I create more impact, but what do you really mean there? Alteja Diaz asks, the challenge is to make clients understanding that our connections all over the world are the pillars of our business. How can we charge them for the service prior to result? Well, you can't charge your clients prior to result. Unless, all right, actually I'll give it away. So here is what you can do, okay? You can give them the possibility of result, okay? And then take a certain part of the investment, not the entire investment, a part of the investment, from them for them to be able to commit to actually working with you so they can get a result. This is for when you're doing a high-end sale, and I'm assuming that's the question related to. Because otherwise, if you're just doing something that's online, you always collect before they've got the result. Because that's how you make a sales offer. You literally are letting them know, hey, listen, here is something, there's a possibility of result. So think about any sale, online or offline, is a lot to do with how you build desire with your audience. So you're talking about from there where they are, like situation, remember spin selling that we were just talking about. So where they are, and then you will walk them through every stage and go and say, okay, so let's take an example. Okay, let's take an example of let's take the example of sales, like we were talking about before, right? You have a sales team, you're a sales coach, your potential clients are a sales team. They have a situation that their staff is not motivated enough, right? So you'll go, oh, your staff's not motivated enough. Why do you think your staff is not motivated enough? You will do this digitally instead of doing in a one-to-one conversation. And now you kind of already know the answers of why the staff is not motivated enough. And you can go, okay, 5 reasons why your staff is not motivated enough. And here is why you list it down and how to solve it, right? Then you go, okay, so what happens if your staff is not motivated enough? And that could be your next video. And lastly, you can say, here is how to get your staff motivated, where you give a training and you give a sales pitch to your audience. And when you do that, what happens is now you've got people to commit to because of the desire and hope that they will get the result of you motivating their sales staff in this scenario, and that will help them create that transaction and that whole thing of being able to work with you even before that you have actually delivered any result. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water. Murtaza asks, how would you convince a client or sell service in a highly competitive market? So when you're in a competitive space, and if you really think about it, this right now, while you guys are online, this is an extremely competitive space. Like there is so many people who are doing events and educating people to just go ahead and go ahead and actually look at, thank you Coco for letting me know that I've answered your question. I was just looking forward to your follow-up. But Murtaza, your question, how do you convince a client or sell service in a highly competitive market? Here's how you do it. Oh, our space is highly competitive, right? Any space that we are in, even personal development where Mindvalley operates in a much larger setup, is highly competitive as a space. And the way you enter a competitive space or you play in a competitive space is two-way. One, you play on your competitors, which basically means that you try to understand from your competitors why they have the following that they have. If you want to treat them as competitors, you can also treat them as collaborators and kind of go in there with that approach, right? Secondly, what you do is you have to transform the dialogue between you and your potential clients. So you have to create a differentiated dialogue between you and your clients. You have to kind of go in and say, what is it that I can do that will serve my clients so deeply, so powerfully, and I can do it in a way that it doesn't look like everybody else. So for example, for us to be able to create a differentiation in a competitive market, we just decided we wanted to give a crap load of content to them, right? We wanted to overwhelm our audience with the amount of high value content that they get ungated on our fan pages, on our website, on different platforms, on YouTube, on our email list. It's ungated. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just simply get a chance to watch and get the value out of it. I mean, right now you're watching this is ungated. It's all on 4 different fan pages. You'll probably watch tons of my other videos where we train you on specific things, completely ungated. You don't have to pay $1 for it. You don't have to do any kind of transaction with us for you to get value from us. And that makes us extremely, extremely differentiated from our audience. Because what happens otherwise is our audience is used to saying, oh, they're going to sell me something, right? They're used to saying, oh, I'll have to sign up. Oh, I have to give my email address. You don't have to. Just be on the fan page and you'll get everything that you want completely ungated. Like right now you're getting it completely ungated on YouTube and you're getting it on Facebook. And that's how you create differentiation in your space, is by creating things that are not normal in that space, and you're just creating it because you think about your client before you think about yourself, right? So that's how you could create it, is you can literally go in and create ungated content. I don't know what space you are in, but it depends. If you are in a space which is a lot about content, just having ungated content will give you tremendous value. I mean, we have 90,000 or something fans on Evercoach. There are almost 15,000 fans on Ajit Nawalkha fan page. And I mean, really, we give away a lot of content. And all the people who join us through all these different channels are because they are getting ungated content first, and then they're going, well, I like this guy or I like this page. Let me go and get continuous information from them that help us grow, right? So that's what I would do if you were looking at selling or servicing something in a really highly competitive market. All right, Ismail, and I think this will be the last question that we're going to do today. Ismail asked a really long question, which is, I strongly believe in the customer is always right philosophy, but I recently came over a client who tried to take me for a ride by claiming a full refund for a service that has been carried out exactly as per our contract. He said the service he provided was not solving a problem that he faced, but the fact is the root of that problem wasn't even coming from our service. How can one handle such a client? How do we oblige his claim? If yes, could it risk creating a similar trend with other clients? Or is there a situation where customer is not always right? First of all, customer is not always right. That is true. Customer is right most often. And what you want to do is you don't want your customer to feel that you don't care. So a lot of times customers don't even know the kind of product that they really want because they are coming from the frame of mind. Think about it like this, and now we're going to go a little bit into personal development and philosophy. Everybody comes from their own reality, right? Everybody has their own story, which means your customers also have their own story. So it's not necessarily about your product, your service, your anything else that you're giving. It's simply about that their story is where you are not delivering what they want, or their story is where that what you're saying is a problem is not even a problem. So they will come from the place where they will come from. What you need to understand is that's why sometimes they might not be 100% right. Now, how I would deal the situation is a little bit different though. If my client would tell me that we haven't delivered the service that we promised, I would usually go ahead and refund them. That's usually what I would do, unless I feel that they're coming from a very different place. Usually, also when it's high end and you are delivering a one-on-one kind of service, you would know when it's about to come, where they're about to say, you know what, dude, you're not really delivering what we want you to deliver. And so you can see that refund coming. And so you didn't do a good job catching it when you were supposed to catch it, right? And when that's the case, then I'm sorry, you didn't do the job that you were supposed to do on your own end, if you ask me. So that's what I would do. Is first reaction for me is always, maybe I should refund it, unless I feel that they're absolutely wrong. And if that's the scenario, then I would argue it out with them, and I would get on the phone call and I would talk about, okay, hey, listen, here is what we promised, here's what we delivered, let's see, and try to talk them out of it, give them a bonus to get them get yourself also out of the situation, them out of the situation, by simply offering, hey, listen, I can give you this bonus for you to be able to take action on that scenario. Okay, so that's what I would do if I was in your shoes. Is I would try to keep the client, because also I feel getting a client is harder than keeping a client. So I would look into it. I would really ponder if that is true, that you really can't solve the situation and keep the client. I would do that for sure. All right, so what we are going to do is after this, because we have like 10 minutes left or something, and in that scenario, I always take you around and show you the office. Today I'm going to show you the Hall of Awesomeness. It will be on my fan page, so go ahead. Don't follow me, because that's what some of you did, that you started following me on my personal profile. The challenge with that is I don't really post there, so you're not going to ever hear from me there. But if you go ahead and like the fan page, you'll be able to get the communication. Also, when the live stream is going to end, it's going to give you an option to subscribe, so that way you don't even have to get on our email list or whatever. You just get a notification when we are going live. We are intending to go live a lot more often, and you will get a lot more content from us. I want to share as the insights show up in life and all that kind of stuff. So I'd love for you to go ahead and subscribe when the stream ends. For YouTube guys, just move over to Facebook and watch the stream and subscribe to it. What I want to also offer is this opportunity of going ahead and getting on the Evercoach Summit. It is our live event. This is the first ever event where I am doing it. I'm hosting it. I will be speaking for a lot of hours. I think I'm speaking for almost 5 or 6 hours, or maybe even 7 hours over the course of 3.5 days, sharing a ton of really valuable coaching. this will where I would be actually coaching you guys live. There's a whole block for about 3.5 hours where I would be going in and actually working with you directly on the business, which is also why we are limiting the amount of people who will be in the room. We are limiting it to about 150, so we can actually work with a few of you directly while you are in the room. So it's a very interesting play. It's not like your regular seminar. It's a very different setup. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to meeting a few of you there. It's happening in San Diego. It happens between 11th and 14th of August. My team's going to post that link right now on YouTube and on Facebook for you to go ahead and check it out. Go ahead and check it out, and if it is the right product for you, right seminar for you, do show up. I'd love to interact with you. Come say hi when you're there. We are also bringing in some amazing speakers like Lisa Nichols, Marissa Peer, Rich Litwin, Vishen Lakiani, who is my business partner, and tons of brilliant teachers and coaches coming in to walk you through and create a great value for it. So what I want to tell you about is also what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to go over products on how to really create an ecosystem of products. The whole product grid on how to really think about products, how to really price them, what to price them, and how to really go about doing that. So on that note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one last question, and then I am going to take you through a tour of our office. This is a different office than yesterday. This will happen on my fan page because, like I said, we have 4 different offices in Mind Valley just because we couldn't fit all 160 into one. So we have 4 different units. So I'm going to show you a different unit. This is what we call the Hall of Awesomeness, and also where my team members sit. Cool. So we're going to do that in just a bit. D asked this question: how do I get paying clients, please? So D, I don't know what business you are in. I don't know what business you really do, but I'm assuming you're a consultant or a coach or some kind of an expert, right? I would say get your first few paying clients. It's always easier to build your first 6 figures by just working with people one-on-one on how to really help them and really guide them through the process. One-on-one or one-to-many, like in a group setting or a seminar setting of 3, 4, 5 people, or one-to-one as one-to-one interaction. The reason why that works better is because it does 2 things. One, it helps you discover your practice in a lot more detail. So you know your system, you know your value, you know your proposition for the world, and at the same point of time, you also get a huge amount of revenue and an influx which is high profitability. So don't think about your clients and think about, oh, I can get a $200 client. Don't try to get a $200 client because it's not going to work. Try to get a $5,000 client, a $10,000 client. Now, definitely make it for our training tomorrow, because tomorrow I'll literally walk you through on how to create products that are at that price point, and I'm going to walk you through how to come up with the grid for it, so you can actually go ahead and implement that in your business. So what I would strongly recommend is that you make it for our conversation tomorrow, because I'm going to walk you through the whole process of building products that will allow you to look at your business in a slightly different way. What we are also doing, which is also an opportunity right now, but not all of you are going to qualify, so I just want you to be mindful of that, is that we are opening my mastermind. It's called Momentum. It has the clients, the stories that I was talking about during the course of the presentation. It has a lot of those people in there. It is a fantastic group. We meet 3 times a year in San Diego or LA. Through the course of the year, the first meeting happens in August for this round of enrollment, and then it will be perpetually enrolling. But right now there is an early bird. It's something where we are really looking to get in a few clients, but your business needs to be somewhere for you to be able to join it. You need to do at least 6 figures, to be very honest, to get any value out of the group. It's a little bit high end as a group because we talk about advanced stuff, and we also talk about a lot of stuff. It will also involve a lot of coaching with me, because the group coaching format, we're looking at maybe 50 people in the room eventually, but initially we are looking at maybe 10-15 people just to scale it and pace ourselves to it. So it's a fun group. I've already ran a group like this previously, and this group was absolutely fantastic. So my team's going to put a link on different pages for you to go ahead and check it out. It's expensive. It's about $15,000 a year. We have great payment plans that you can choose to have. qualification, you have to be at least a six-figure business for you to be able to go in there. So even to get on a phone call, to have that conversation with our success coaches, they will be asking for these qualifications. So I would suggest that if you are a business that is doing well and want to do greater, you want to reduce your overwhelm, you want to increase your results, go ahead and check out the page, which is posted for you right now on the different platform that you might be watching this on. Go ahead and actually fill out the whole form, and my team will see if you are qualified to talk to our success coaches, and then we'll schedule a call with you and you can know all the details. Know that you're signing up for a conversation at this stage, so go ahead and fill the form, fill in the right details so we can see if we can actually help you. All right, that's pretty much it for today. So thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow we meet at the same time, and I'm excited and stoked to have you all there. For people on my page, stay back. We are going to walk through the office. This is a little private party, you can say, in a way. I'll introduce some of my team members as well. Some of you met these guys yesterday. There are some new members that have joined us today. So you're going to find them live on my page in just about a minute while I switch off all the other streams, okay? Have a fantastic day ahead, or night, or morning for the people who have joined in at different times. I will see you tomorrow, same time, and we are going to talk about products.